Hi, everyone. I know that you would have preferred to listen to this. Any Taylor Swift fans in the room, please find the react button to your left and give me a thumbs up if yes. Or, I don't know, give me a love eyes for her. There we go. Yes, there are some Taylor Swift. Oh, awesome. Welcome, everyone. The room is open, so as we were surely have some more people joining. My name is Anamaria. I am so excited to be here. Thank you so much, Cole, for the invitation. I am leading the community project at Butter, and I'm also have a background in learning and development. So I used to deliver trainings and sessions and workshops, and that's why I am super, super close to facilitation and very delighted to host today's session with an awesome facilitator, like a real facilitator, Ross. Over to you. Do you mind sharing a couple of words about yourself?
Absolutely, Anamaria. Thank you for coming today. My name's Ross Chapman. I'm a designer at heart, but I love this facilitation game. And yeah, I'm an ambassador for Butter, which means I get to use it every day, and it's super fun. Very thankful to have you all here. And I think today we're going to look at some of that really kind of, it feels like sharing our secrets, but we're going to be kind of delving into the world of how you can run effective events. And yeah, I hope you learned something new today. That's what I'm looking forward to hearing.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Ross. Also, shout out to Cheska. Hi, Cheska. Whoop, whoop. There you go.
Hello.
First of all, it feels very strange to see everyone's videos off. Don't feel pressure to turn them on. Only if you want to. That's perfectly fine. So before, as well, Ross already mentioned, we're going to share some of our secrets. We're going to spend together an hour. So let's see how much tips and tricks and goodness we can pack in this hour to set you up for success whenever you're running your next event or workshop. And to better understand where you're standing and what the main challenges are, we're going to launch a poll, and you will see this type box. No worries. Yes, good morning, everyone. On the left side of your screen, you will see the poll at launch. So what are your main challenges when it comes to facilitating virtual workshops or events in general? You have the type box. Make sure that you type in your answer and you click submit answer so we can see where we are and with what are we working on today and how many of these challenges we can address in the next hour. Right. Good morning. No challenge.
Hey, it must be easy. Maybe it's a group of experts. I didn't know. You got some answers. Good, thank you. What do you think yours is, Anamaria?
So I added mine. It would be keeping up with the engagement, keeping the engagement up in the room, especially for longer sessions. All right. Capturing engagement. Lawrence is with me. Keeping the energy. Cheska's with me as well. Helping the attendees get to know each other like they would in an in-person event. Yes. Awkward pause after engagement invitation. Yes. Would anyone like to share their experience? And for that, actually, you're going to love this because Butter allows you to, really make it obvious when that happens. So yes, we are going to address definitely some of the engagement, the wow of an event. How do we make it pop? How do we make it memorable? And make sure that we share a couple of tips. The hour is really short, so we have also prepared a handout for you afterwards with some more resources, videos, tools, things you can explore if you want to polish up those facilitation skills further. And with this, let me And the poll.
Ooh.
Keeping the most popular.
Yeah,
Yes.
a few engagement ones. Yeah.
All right. Now, before we start, we like to start the sessions with taking a bit the room temperatures, especially because we don't see your faces. So we don't know, are they smiling? Are they frowning? Or are they sad? How is everyone feeling? So I am going to pull a whiteboard. And before we start, I'm going to invite you to pinch out the whiteboard and find the pen tool at the very, very bottom of the screen. And this is a weather forecast check-in. So it's a tool that we like to use at the beginning of the meetings when people are either just waking up or they're joining from other sessions, other meetings, life is happening, right? So they are popping into your session, into your event, and you really want to take a bit of temperature and see, hey, where's their head at? Like, how are they feeling? Are they happy? How's the weather? Right? So this is one of the tools that you can use to take the temperature of the room. So pick up the pen and pinch out the board and just make an X or any type of sign, like a scribbling next to the weather report. So how do you feel right now?
Do you think lightning's good or bad? Do you think like, I don't know. Interpretation.
Well, it's one of my favorite emojis. So I use lightning a lot whenever something is like, yeah, we've got this, right? So lightning is not negative for me. Lightning is badass.
Yeah.
Anyone feeling badass this morning or this afternoon? Yay! Okay, some lightning there. Okay, all right. You know what? I am happy because there's no rain. There's some clouds. I see some wind. I see some snow. Do we like snow? Give me a thumbs up if we like snow. Is this are we happy? Is it making us happy or is it rather making us sad? A snowy weather.
Some people like that. Yeah, Shauna loves snow.
There we go. All right. Cheska doesn't know. Cheska's like thinking about it. Maybe I like it, maybe I don't. Some people don't like it. So the invitation for you is whenever you see the clouds gathering, or if there's a thunderstorm or this kind of snow you don't like, take a moment at the beginning of the session of the event to do the thing that you need right at that moment to set you up for success in that session, right? So do you need a cup of coffee? Do you need a glass of water? Maybe take a moment to breathe deep and then return to the session with your full energy. Alrighty. If anyone would like to unmute and share a bit the feelings behind maybe this stormy weather, you don't have to.
Maybe it's super early.
Where are those tickets? All right. Okay, so thank you very much. The weather is looking good. There's no rain, and I think we're good to go and continue. So
great.
Now, engagement. We're talking about engagement, and to be honest, in the virtual room, and I think there was someone mentioning that it's really hard in the virtual space to get people to really connect with each other the way they would connect in real life, right? So there are a couple of tools that we can use for that and a couple of tips and tricks, and I will pass it over to Ross to introduce us into the very, very first activity that we're doing while I manage the tech in the background.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anamaria. Yeah, so we have a number of tools at our disposal. You earlier saw YouTube, which I must use on every workshop from today. Everything needs to start with some kind of dance off. And there are the whiteboard that we just used here, but also Miro kind of gives us a lot of extended capabilities. And what we're going to do here is really, again, learn from you so we can not just hear and understand, but certainly as a facilitator, I sometimes adapt some of the content just to see where people are at so that people get the most value out of the session. So we're going to come together on Miro and really understand and ask a question of, if I can find it, no, that's the other one. Where is it? Here we go. It's coming. Come, come, come. The hamsters, they are spinning. Awesome. Thank you. So the question is, what is the best virtual experience that you've had and what made it special? Think of those experiences that you've had in recent times and what really made it special. Was it an activity? Was it a magic moment? Just pick any sticky note that you want and just feel free to kind of share your experience on that. I'd love to just see what people have been doing. Cool. Madison is sharing. A few others. Awesome. Cool. Cheska, have you been to a extraordinary virtual experience? And yeah, have you got any you'd like to share?
I think most are the ones coming from you, Ross. I'm kidding.
Oh, shush.
No.
Goodness.
I know there's a bit biased, but I did like the one where we did the co-creation workshops with the community. I think that was quite a nice one. Like, it was super well paced and fast. I also love some of the on deck intro sessions that we've done on another tool called Gather, which was actually primarily meant for just ice breaking and getting to know and bonding with people. So I really love those intimate sort of connections that it forges.
That's nice. I like getting to know people when either you're not able to or it's, you know, a long time until you can meet in person. That's so nice. And it's
Shauna has a question. I'm not sure if she would like to rather type it or quickly unmute and
Yeah, I'll
add the
unmute.
question.
I'm so
Hey.
sorry to interrupt. Hello, everyone. I am just wondering where I should put the answer to this prompt question. I'm afraid I was too slow in understanding where you wanted this prompt, but I would like to participate, but I don't know where it should go.
That's a great question, Shauna. Do you see the mirror board that just put in butter to the left?
Yes,
where
I
you
do.
see all the tickets. Awesome. So if you just hover, like go hover with your mouse in that space, if you go on mirror and make sure that you have the arrow to the very left, the first arrow that is now black, you click it and turn it blue, you are going to be able to double click on any post-it and put in your answer.
I see. All right, thrilling. Thank you so much. I was way out of town on this board.
Absolutely no problem. And what you can also do is, if it doesn't work, pop your insights in the chat. We're going to keep an eye on the chat as well. So do not let tech keep you away from engaging and contributing to the session. That's like
Perfect.
one of the lessons that I've learned with virtual facilitation. And Cheska sharing the tip in the chat as well.
Thank you
Thanks,
for
Jessica.
acknowledging my vulnerability of this tech moment. Appreciate it, and thank you so much.
No, we're here for that. Don't worry. If anyone else would like a helping hand, please do let us know. Oh, I like a few of these answers. I'd love to know more about virtual LAN party. I mean, were you playing Quake, or was there something a little more up to date than that? I'd love to learn more about that. Usually that meant like hauling huge PCs across town to kind of go somewhere and hope that someone's mum would cook us pizza. But that was a long time ago.
Happy to do so.
Yeah.
So I actually threw a virtual summer school in the past summer, and I run Plato, which is an application that like has all sorts of mini games.
Ooh.
And basically this whole game went on throughout this whole summer course, lasting a week. So that was pretty cool. So it was, I don't know, chess games, pool, all those kind of small, funny things.
I love that. That sounds great. Do you think you'll run it next year?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Lawrence, is this a Google? Is this is it an app? The Play-Doh games? I'm googling it right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is
Yeah,
this?
actually, I was first looking into all of these crazy things like Quake or I don't know what else can you do, Minecraft. But that's kind of the threshold to start doing these games. That's pretty high because you, I don't know, have to install something or you have to go through an whole process to learn it. And this was just super easy.
Nice.
Right.
Awesome. Any other answers people want to share? Ooh.
I was forced to do something at whole time. Yay! I love it. It's not just passive listening, and I had to do stuff, right? So you have to keep your participants engaged, keep them doing things, interacting, whether there's an emoji, whether there's a sound, where is the chat, it's a mirror board. So how do we keep them constantly doing something and sharing? I like that. Virtual improv class, super out of my comfort zone, but I had fun. I attended one of those as well with our community. It was also like, wow, I could do an improv every day. I would start my day with an improv workshop every day just to set the tone. Butter bias makes it a lot of fun. Was that you, Jessica?
Oh, it might have been. Who, me?
Anyone else? And anyone else that would like to share a really like super, super special, super duper experience that we all have to know about and experiment with?
Yeah, I mean, there's a brand new year to have in a few weeks' time. Want to try some of these out? Ooh.
All right. Okay, Scribble. Yeah, so we are going to make sure that we are sharing the board afterwards as well, as there's a lot of good stuff going on here. And also, I love that you actually typed in tools or games or things that you experienced, the Jackbox Party and tabletop games. And I'm like, oh, I haven't heard about this. I need to check them out. Then with this, obviously, feel free to continue to add your thoughts. I'm going to move us further to a couple of tips that we've brought. And before we go into you designing your own event, because yes, that's going to happen in this session, we thought about giving you a couple of tips. And really, truly, this is just scratching the surface. But whenever we are building an event, whether that's a workshop, that's a community event, whenever people need to gather to have an experience and they have a goal, whether the goal can be connecting or they need to come up with a plan, an action plan, debate something, co-create something, etc. So whenever in the virtual space we're putting people together, I like to think about the 3 principles that we need to cover. And we brought here a visual because I like to think in images. So think about it, you're responsible of a racket launch, right? So whenever you're designing your workshop, you have to account for how do I launch my workshop? Like, what do I do at the very beginning? What happens in the middle while we're in our rocket ship exploring and we're all together in that space? And then what happens at the end? So how do I land this rocket ship safely? And we have brought a couple of tips that I'm going to briefly take you through. And again, we're going to share all of this later on. So the launching phase is super important because it basically sets the tone for your entire event or your entire workshop. So usually you want to have people align, make sure that they know why are they here, what's going to happen, how long are we going to stay together, and what is it that they can expect from that event. And you will also want to create and build trust and have an open atmosphere. And now what do you see with the light bulb and the guy with the glasses, the emoji with the glasses? These are tips and then super facilitator tips, right? So do not start with slides. I like that a lot. So if there's any way that you can start your workshop or event or presentation in any other way that are not involving slides, do that. Do you have a YouTube video? Is there a music waiting for them in the room? Do you have a poll? Are you waiting, I don't know, with a whiteboard where they can scribble something? So try to surprise them because that will set the tone for your event. And invite contributions as early as possible. I think we've seen that on the post-its as well. The moment people have to do something, if I'm engaged, I need to think, I need to put things on boards, etc. Invite them to show you a thumbs up, to comment on something in the chat. Maybe there's a poll. It makes them feel involved and it makes them feel seen. And you are, from the beginning on, moving over that hurdle of, oh, can I talk here? And should I contribute? And how can I contribute? And so on. Check in what we did with a weather report or a hot start activity. So if, for example, you're gathering people for a brainstorming session, before putting them in that brainstorming session, maybe you can give them a very tiny activity to get the creative juices flowing. And one of my favorite one is put them in groups and ask them how many ways they can find to use a paperclip, for example. So this is a hot start for a brainstorming activity because it gets the people going, it gets the people in that mood for generating ideas. And if you're a super facilitator, how can you create an immersive experience, right? So how can you use the space that the people are in? You might use a video, can you use a story, and really make sure that there is a multi-sensory experience and we're not all stuck to the screen, right? This depends on the time that you have, but you could have maybe a check-in where you're asking people to look around in the room and grab an object that represents something for them, show it to the camera and share it with a group, right? So you're automatically using the space and the tools that they have around. And these are just our tiny little tips to launch and set your event up for success. Now, we have set the mood, people are engaged, they contributed, there was music, everyone's in there, they're with you, and now the work starts, right? So this is the body of the workshop. This is the event. This is what's happening actually while we gather. So it's really good every now and then, especially if you're hosting a workshop for 2 hours, maybe longer, to make sure that everyone is on track. Like, are people following you? And for that, there are like kind of mini interactions like, hey guys, please drop me a message in the chat. Is this something that it ever happened to you? Or give me a thumbs up if you ever encountered a situation when whatever. So just making sure that people are following you and keep everyone equally involved in the process. Manage the energy. Do you require an energizer to pump up the energy in the room, or are you getting ready for some sort of a deep work session where you need to bring people down and into that space? And really good to shift in between the process and the participants. So have an eye on the chat, on the people's cameras. Are they with you? Are they following you? Are they, looking bored? Are they energized? Are they asking questions? So your process is important, but the experience and how the people are feeling in the room is even more important than that. Now, tips. There's a lot. I'm going to go super fast through them. Mind the interface. Pick the right tools. And I mean, Butter is pretty awesome, right? Because as you can tell, we have polls, like everything is included in the tool. So you don't have to take people out on a Miro board and use a Mentimeter to launch a poll or whatever. So try to pick the right tools, because the tools will either elevate, help you in your facilitation, or they can become a struggle. Super important conversation formats, and this going back to having everyone's voice heard. We shared here a couple of our favorites: the Fishbowl, the World Café, the Lean Coffee, 1, 2 for all. And I wanted to go to the chat and let me know if anyone has ever heard about them, attended one, or knows anything about the Fishbowl, World Café, Lean Coffee, or 1, 2 for all. I'm curious to know if these are, is this something you've heard about? Is this new?
If someone could tell me about liberating structures, it's been on my to-do list for a long time. Apparently I'm supposed to know what that means.
Right, no worry. You're in good hands. We can share that. I haven't heard of any on this. New to me. World Café in person before, Anais? Yes. Awesome. Never heard of it. Okay, Anais. So you draw the, how is it? Is it the long straw or the short straw? What's the lucky one?
To us, it's the long straw.
Okay.
To you.
Would you mind unmuting and sharing a bit? How was that experience of a World Café? What was it?
I love that idea.
Unfortunately, can't even, no worries. All right, so super fast. The Fishbowl, it is a format where you are having two big circles, if we were to imagine it in a room, where the inner circle are 4 to 5 people that are having a conversation around the prompt, and the outer circle is sitting and listening into that conversation. So like you would listen and look at the fishes in a fishbowl. The external layers, it can be 2, 3, it doesn't matter how many people you have in the room. And as the conversation continues, the inner circle, or the fishes, whenever someone feels that I'm not contributing to the conversation, they just stand, they take their seat in the outer circle, and then someone comes in and continues the conversation. And the way you can do that in Butter, for example, is with our spotlight feature. All of the people that are in the inner circle are spotlighted, they're talking, they're having a conversation, everyone else is muted and listens into the conversation. So whether you want to explore a topic, it's a great format for like fireside chats or panels. This is a great one to use. The World Café, on the other hand, is a great example to use if you want to engage and involve everyone in the room. In real life, it requires you to have different spaces with different conversation prompts or questions, and people will move in small groups through those tables. That's why it's called a cafe. People are sitting at a table and they're having a chat around something. And after a certain amount of time, the groups are changing from table to table, from conversation to conversation, and they add to the topic that the other people have discussed before, right? In real life, you would ask people to write on the table, right? You would put a big sheet of paper and you would ask them to write. Now, in the virtual space, we don't really have tables, but we do have Miro boards like this one. So you can have in Butter different rooms that participants can flow and move through them. And in each room, you can assign a new Miro board with a new conversation prompt, a new task, a new reflection, something that they can discuss about. And they just move through the rooms, contributing to the Miro board. Lack of time, I'm not going to go and explaining all of them. We can share with them afterwards. But basically, what you want is to make sure that you're using the tech and the tools that you have and the activities to generate those conversations based on the goals that you have for the event. Participants work more than you do, right? So if you're a good facilitator, really good facilitators, they will design a sessions where people are working more than they have to. You talk the least, be comfortable with silence. So if you're asking a question and nothing comes, sit with that silence for a couple of seconds. I know it's very tempting to go and fill it in.
Give it
exactly. Give it a big hug and sit with it, because it just takes longer in the virtual space, right? This is what's happening. And design for inclusivity. And inclusivity, what we really truly mean here is, I think that the virtual space, the same as the usual space, offline space, is very much designed for the extroverts, the people who take the mic and there's like, hey, listen to me, I have something to share, right? And in the virtual space, as facilitators, we can truly design for everyone, for people that are a bit more shy, for people that have their camera off because it's 8 a.m. and they just woke up. So it is a great way to do that. Hi, Jacob. Maximize together time and work async. So this exploring phase in the virtual space, you can minimizing and really use the time that you're in sync in the tool together to do really the creative work, the connection work, the collaboration work. And if you like things like what's happening now, we could have just very well recorded this, send it to you beforehand and say, hey, this is the theory, show up to the session and we just get to play, right? So use the sync and async as well. And I am going to land our rocket so we can move on to doing stuff.
Great job.
And here I am. Yes, do you like my rocket? It's not even sailing. How to do landing skills?
Yeah.
It equally important the beginning as well as the end, because how often, and maybe we can go to the react button and you can give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if this has ever happened to you, that you attended a session, it was all good, it's warm and fuzzy and stuff happened, but at the very end of the session you really had to stop and think for a second, hey, like, why have we done this? Like, what was the purpose? Like, the session didn't really truly ended or didn't really truly landed, right? So this happens sometimes. Now take those, even if it's 3 minutes, even if it's 5 minutes at the end, hey, what happened in the session? What is next? Do we get us some feedback as facilitators, and how do we move on? And this can take different shapes and forms. Do we work on an action plan? Do we need to decide on next steps? Who's the person that's going to be in charge of something? What are the desired outcomes? So today we want to share some tips and we want to help you design and create your next event, right? Reflect and feedback, and there are different tools to do that and different facilitation methods, and we're going to see one of them at the end of the session today.
Mm-hmm.
Wrap up and check out. Mary, I see you. Yes. Tell us.
We want to know.
You have to, you have to unmute yourself.
I can't wait.
Mary.
There's got to be more.
I think Maddie might just have left. She's there. Wait, one moment.
All right.
Like I can't breathe. Oof.
Me too. I stopped breathing. I was like, Mary, don't leave us hanging, please. All right.
We need your knowledge.
Will we receive a list of these tools after buying? Yes, even better than that. You're going to receive a list of many toolboxes and tools and places you can go and look for all of these tools. So it's going to be good. And warning, this comes with a warning sign. Yeah, exactly. This comes with a warning sign. Open the resource that we're sharing when you have time on your hands, because trust me, it can be a rabbit hole. So there we go. I hope this answered the question, Maddie. And on a high energy note, if you can, be time pessimist. Always planning virtual for less than that time that you actually have, and try to keep them shorter than 2 hours. And if I were to zoom out here and take you back to this really simple, basic workshop design model of launching, exploring, something happens in the middle, and landing, what you really want to do is you want to create the launch, the beginning, very memorable, as well as the end. And these were the tips that I had in that I brought with me. Ross,
Thank you so much.
I'm passing them over to you.
Yeah, I love the landing bit, because then I think as a facilitator, every time you do something, you want to learn something of it, and you want to leave a workshop going, job done. Yeah, we went there, we did that. You don't want to leave there going, I think we did that. I don't know. I feel like there's no closure. I need closure. So let's move forward, shall we? So we really wanted to help you create this safe space to design an event, and we've put together a little kind of toolbox of tools that you can use to put into your next event, and it can just be the best event you've ever made ever. So I want to show you what that looks like, and then we'll show you where you can do it. It's like a play area for adults. So here we have a kind of toolbox of elements that you can use. And really what we're going to do is ask you to do this. So we'll just demo this, and then it'll be like, down to you. Let's see what you got. Show us the good stuff. So every event needs some kind of goal. Why are we here? What do we want to achieve? What does the audience want to achieve? And really, what's going to make this a memorable, great experience? We talked about sharing great virtual experiences earlier. What could you do to make this the next virtual experience that people want to say is great? And then you want to kind of look at that launch, explore, land idea, which Anamaria kindly showed us. I've never seen this before this week. I really like it. I say, beginning, middle, end, but using rockets is so much better. I'm going to use rockets now. So the using that kind of method, you've got this rhythm of your event. You have to start well. You need to kind of do something in the middle, and you want to really bring it home and floss like this astronaut dude thing. So that is where you can kind of plan your event. And then we've got these really cool features that you can use and to really add some je ne sais quoi to your event. But also every tool has a job, and it can make things easier. It can also add variety. And I think a great event for me, if you were asked to me, like, what makes a great event, it's one where I don't talk all the time. I don't want to talk for 2 hours. I don't want to hear that. I don't think anyone else wants to hear that. So if you use some of these features, you can really add some jazz to some of your future events. I think that's it. Did I miss anything, Anamaria? It's a beautiful setup. Oh, we've got timings. We have timings. if you were to ask Anamaria what I'm really keen on, it's timings. I love me some timings. So the way to kind of bundle things up and be able to add some timings, remember where we said you want to use less time than you actually have, but also the more often that you run an event, you're going to get so good at saying, oh, this is a 5-minute activity. No, this is a 10-minute. And you can really help guide a group through it. Workshops and events, do you really want to share an agenda? Probably not, because you might want to create space for a discussion and you might want to go in a different direction. But the more that you run these events in a kind of plan like this, you're going to be able to say with confidence, hey, this takes 45 minutes, and you can just drop mic and go off after that.